Once upon a time, there was a kid who had just begun the first grade and had just moved houses, a much more spacious house that felt like a mansion to a small kid. Refined, clean, sparkly even. He felt like a prince. But what really got his attention was the massive screen in the lounge room. He thought of all the possibilities a kid on the age of 6 could think of, but was disappointed when all they had was cable. No Foxtel, no Netflix. Australia didn't even have Netflix till 2015. And so, while he was going through what seemed like endless boring channels, at around 7 PM he stopped at something that caught his eye. That something was...
tengentoppagurrenlagann!
Fight the power! Row, row, 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 fight the power! Row, row,
This is it!
fight the power!
Our final battle!
Tengen-toppa-gurren-lagann is about as cool as anime gets. To me, it was Gainax's final stand, and goddamn is it amazing. First, I want to begin with my history with the anime, as well as how it changed my life forever. My history with anime began when I was 5 years old and Gurren Lagann was playing on the screen in front of me. Here in Australia, anime didn't play on TV. Unless you had Foxtel or something, you wouldn't find any anime on cable. But there was this one channel, TVS or Television Sydney, or Channel 44 as I remember it. It was a bizarre and pretty unknown channel. Obviously, I didn't know about it either, but one fateful day, it was just my dad and me at home, and it was pretty late at night. I just turned on the TV and went through a few channels until I saw flashing colors and stopped. There, right in front of my eyes, was Gurren Lagann. I had no idea what was going on, but I couldn't take my eyes off it. The colors, the animation, the grandiose music, the urgency in the voices of the characters. Obviously, I didn't know what any of that meant back then. I was literally 5. But it's what I felt. It captured my heart, and I would wake up the next day thinking it was just a dream. But the following week, I would come back and the next episode would be playing. And that's where it all began for me. There were many other anime that aired on TVS while I watched. Black Butler, Fullmetal Alchemist, and Brotherhood, and a bunch more. It was like my very own secret channel that no one else knew about. Funnily enough, they have a YouTube channel that showcases the university that I went to earlier this year, which may be why I originally went there, who knows. Because of TVS, I would go to my local library or Blockbuster and borrow DVDs of shows that had similar art styles. Obviously, this meant watching some inappropriate shows at a young age. Like, by the time I was 7, I had watched both Higurashi and Elfen Lied. I mean, both shows are two of my favorites now, but I used to hate them. Go figure. I continued to watch anime on TVS even after I knew about the internet, and would primarily use that. Until 2015, that is, when it shut down for good. Which, left me feeling a tad empty. It was a special place to me and always will be, but I digress. We were talking about Gurren Lagann, right? Gurren Lagann is about believing. If you know me, you know I'm a sucker for stuff that makes me depressed. But this anime is one of those outliers. That's not to say it's all happy or anything, it has a lot of bleak moments, but there's always a feeling of hope. Through its multiple character deaths, through Simon's depression, through Rossiu's depression, we always see our characters get back on their feet or die with a smile on their face. This anime kept me going and still keeps me going. That's why it's always been on my mind and is special to me. Even if you get rid of my history with the anime, I would probably still love it. I would rewatch this show at least once a year due to its importance to me, being my favorite anime of all time for many years. In 2019, that changed though. I didn't watch it that year, and my opinion on anime had changed around that time as well. I started to dislike the stuff I was watching more and more, lacking interest and becoming easily bored by the medium. Seeing a new anime that loads of friends would praise and recommend, only to watch it and start to notice how repetitive and similar all of these had become. I became harsher, more cynical. Anime just wasn't as fun as it used to be. My opinion on anime I had already watched had changed as well. Gurren Lagann was no longer my favorite anime. Hell, it wasn't even in my top 10. And it continued to drop in how much I liked it. 2020 was similar. I skipped watching Gurren Lagann yet again and kinda just stopped talking about anime in general. I didn't care about anime anymore, and this could have been because of the amount of boring and awful anime I had watched, or it could have been due to me suffering from constant depression. You may be thinking, didn't you just talk about how much you loved Gurren Lagann and how it kept you going like 2 minutes ago? Well, yes, I only realized that recently. I had held off on my rewatch in 2019 and 2020 due to all the shitty stuff I had gone through. The anime is one of the most self-affirming things ever, and that's exactly why I didn't watch it. I was scared that I would hate it due to how much that self-affirming shit would piss me off around that period, which, looking back, was pretty silly of me. I kinda just gave up on life and trying in general. It was like a Jenga tower that fell over despite all your best efforts. Why try again? It's just gonna fall again. That was my thought process. In 2021 though, my life had become brighter. After graduating high school the previous year and starting university, I felt like new. I was getting good grades again, I was talking to new people, I had a fun job, and I was going on several dates. I was finally rebuilding that Jenga tower I had previously given up on. But even with everything going so well, I still felt insanely depressed frequently, which I found out to be partly due to me being bipolar. This medical evaluation alone just made that Jenga tower crash down. It was one of the last things I wanted to hear, that I'm stuck with these constant mood swings for what could potentially be the rest of my life. I became much more arrogant after this, not really caring about the consequences of my actions, and I ended up hurting a person I never wanted to, effectively killing my friendship with him. This led to me having a mental breakdown and attempting to take my life multiple times, but I was too much of a coward, deciding to just spiral and lose my mind instead. I went off social media and stopped chatting with everyone for several days. One day though, I logged back onto Discord and saw the messages from my close friends. I decided to finally put out a statement about my mental health on Twitter and sent it to those friends, and they really helped me feel a bit better. But I still felt like shit and didn't really know what to do. So around mid-August I decided to put on Gurren Lagann. After many years of holding back, I began my 13th watch. And it was the most enjoyment I had gotten out of a piece of media in a long time. After being reminded of all the colourful animation, beautiful music, lovable characters, and emotional events, I finally understood what I was missing. It was believing in myself. I forgot how to do that. Multiple characters go through hell and they still continue to stand. Why? Because they had people they loved, people they wanted to continue to protect. Because they believed in themselves and those people, they weren't necessarily always fighting for the right thing. They were fighting for what they believed in. And that's what this 13th watch of the show that I originally watched at the age of 5 retaught me. What I feel was even more impactful and important than my first watch. I may still feel depressed more often than not, but I'm trying to stop it from making decisions for me. Rather, I believe in myself and the work I do and how I can continue to better myself. Not in a I hate my current self way, but more of a what can I do to make myself and the people I love happier way. I doubt I'll ever enjoy the medium of anime as much as I used to. I still dislike a majority of the stuff I've watched, but the ones I do like, the ones that are special to me, will always be in my heart, and no amount of mediocre or awful anime can take that away from me. That friend I mentioned before, I don't know if we'll ever reconnect again, and I'm sorry for the times I hurt him due to my arrogance and pride. Even if we never talk again, I really do hope he's doing well. I know this video hasn't really talked much about the show itself, and that was never the plan with it. I love pretty much everything about this show, even episode 4, and the people watching this video who like Gurren Lagann already know why they like it, and the people watching this video who don't like Gurren Lagann already know why they don't like it. So instead of making this like the thousands of anime reviews already on this website, I decided to convey the importance of Gurren Lagann to me, and how it saved my life.